Greetings. Hope everybody is doing well. It's been a minute since I didn't go live. Well, like I've told you, the response for the Mother Nature class has been satisfying. So I've less time on my hands. Shh, but I am quite happy. I'm a bit tired as well. But it's life, I can't complain. Now, this topic will be quite unpopular amongst the so-called conscious community and Pan-Africans and the likes. I know that what I will say will not please many people, but I want to speak my mind as I usually do. I want to give my 2 cents. My opinion, my views will definitely, most likely, not be agreed upon or appreciated by the so-called conscious people or so-called conscious community, Pan-Africans, African-centered people, and so on. As a matter of fact, let me just do screen share. I know what to do. So the people who know the deal is. So, okay, now. Why is it not showing? Let's make this bigger. Okay, now this is the singer. My wife corrected me. I said Adele, but she said her name is pronounced Adele. She had a few famous songs. She sold a lot of records. I'm not familiar with her songs, but I've heard some of it on radio. So many of you probably know. I think there's one called "Someone Like You," and there's another one that was playing a lot on the radio, "Hello" or something like that. There's a Notting Hill Carnival. I think it's the largest or biggest carnival in Europe. And it was for that event that Adele dressed like this. And people have accused her of cultural appropriation. And I have actually reduced the title. My title for this video was longer. It was cultural appropriation, ridiculous concept or reality, question mark. But I made it shorter. Many times less is more. I am of the opinion that this cultural appropriation issue, whenever a non-black person wears a black/African hairstyle or wear black/African clothing, I think it's ridiculous. That's my stance. And I don't mean to offend anybody when I say that. My 2 cents. Why do I think it's ridiculous? When black women and some black men, but when black women wear European hair, Asian hair, when they wear blonde wigs, blonde hair, when they dye their hair blonde, nobody talks about cultural appropriation. When black people, male or female, wear European clothing, the suit and tie, or any other clothing, nobody talks about cultural appropriation. So have we come to a time where only a certain group of people can wear a particular hairstyle or particular clothing? And this goes as well with the music. Some people talk about cultural appropriation when non-black people engage into a black music, for lack of better word. Can you picture if a black person will proceed to make music, let's say country music, and people say, well, no, you don't have no business doing country music, stick to your music. What will people say? Wouldn't people say that's wrong, that's racist, the music is not bound to a group of people? And this hypocrisy could go over to other areas besides clothing and music, even with the religion. Wouldn't someone with that logic be justified in claiming cultural appropriation when, for example, black people follow Christianity, since that is not something that we were into until our interaction with non-black people? And as a matter of fact, I'm happy that this was brought up because it makes me want to just briefly, or maybe not briefly, but there is a trend of people claiming that Christianity started in Africa. That whenever black African people follow Christianity, they are not following a white made religion or white man's religion that actually started with us as a people, and then the white man, Caucasian man, took it over, remixed it, and released the hottest mixtape, the hottest mixtape in the street. And what is interesting with those people now, and it's not just brand new, but it's kind of getting back into fashion now, thanks to some people who are so in love with Jesus that they are disrespecting about everybody and giving a great platform to all sorts of pastors and preachers. Now, Piccolo's son wrote, greetings to you, brother, our brother from Bermuda. He wrote, when you are enlightened to the level I am on, you understand that there is no such thing as cultural appropriation. So, when those pastors talk and do quote unquote breakdowns, hmm? When they do talk of breakdowns or explanation about how Christianity come from us, they talk a good game. They talk for an hour or two or three. But do they produce any evidence whatsoever? Do they show you anything? Do they show you artifacts? Do they show you reliefs? Do they show you documents? Do they? So, if somebody wants to share their 2 cents, they are welcome, because it will not be long. But The link is there in the chat, the calling link. But I really wanted to just share my 2 cents about this situation right there. You have black people who follow Islam. Gregory Oliver wrote facts, and they were dressed like Arabs. Not only dressed like them, but also grow their beards like them. And some people might argue whatever they want. A beard, an average beard, will not necessarily be bound to a particular ethnic group. But the long AWS beard, at least from the artifact that we can see, is not something very common amongst Black/African people. And I'm talking ancient time. Oh. But do somebody talk? Does anyone talk about cultural appropriation when you see black people practicing Islam or Christianity or even Judaism? Now, Stephen Bishop wrote, two other people besides you show where Christianity came from. I'm not attempting to show. I'm not attempting to show where Christianity came from. Indeed, in the video Introduction to Kemet, or now known as Kemet and Ma'at, bear with me 1 second. Indeed, in the video called Kemet and Ma'at before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, I do show some cases of plagiarism, probable plagiarism, most likely plagiarism, yes. But I'm not claiming that Christianity comes from Africa or Kemet. I don't think that we have grounds to argue that Christianity as we know it was practiced by Black African people before the interaction with the non-Black African people. Now, some people like to say that it's a corruption. Now, Stephen Bishop wrote, well, lots of similarity for sure. Indeed, there are similarities. Some people say that Christianity was corrupted, that it is now a corruption, and so on. And some people are even trying to make the same claim for Islam. But you know how black people get down. There's an all black everything trend where people love to blacken nearly everything under the sun. We have some Hebrew Israelites who say, and I've said that on tape, that King James was black. Isn't that cultural appropriation? We have black people. We've been talking about black Hebrew, black Jews, black Hebrew talk. Isn't that cultural appropriation? I'm not going to dwell about a situation that happened with a famous person who lost big time, and I wish him well. Stephen Bishop wrote, the Roman Catholic is much different. Now, Capelot Ram wrote, culture virtues. That's a different term as well, culture virtues. Now, I would like to ask you, Capelot Ram, when black women wear weaves or wig, blonde hair, are they being culture virtues? I'm just curious. I'm trying to see if there's any fairness. Some people might try to make it look like I'm here defending non-black people. That's not the point. It's not about the defender. I don't know this lady. I don't know her. one bit. Never been to any communication with her. Don't have any financial interest or partnership whatsoever. And today it happens that I talk about it because the same issue was brought up, but it happened with so many different people. Other non-black people um, been wearing uh, have been wearing um, African hairstyles, and there was some backlash following that. But now I would like someone to tell me what the deal is when it comes to black women and black men, because some black men do actually uh, relax their hair as well. I mentioned the wig, the weave, um, but relaxing their hair, and particularly dyeing the hair, coloring the hair with a yellow color. Now, Stephen Bishop wrote, King James was not black. I share the same opinion. The realist one wrote, look at that hot mess in Bantu knots. And I can ask you the same question that real cis one. When black women relax their hair or when they wear blonde hair, it's a cultural appropriation. When black people follow the belief systems of non-black people, is cultural appropriation. And let me know, feel free. It's all good if you don't agree, because from the get-go, from the beginning of this live stream, I did say that I am well aware that my 2 cents, my opinion, uh, will not be liked, not be appreciated by the social conscious community, African-centered, and so-called pro-black and pan-African people, because they like to be on the same chord. They like that no matter what, whether right or wrong. Now, couple of Ram wrote, original Indians are black. Okay, fine, but my question is simple. And if anybody doesn't want to answer a question I ask, it's all good, but you might as well say it so we save time. When black women wear fake hair, when they color their hair blonde, and when they relax their hair, is this cultural appropriation? Besides, we have so many black women who undergo surgery in order to change the shape of their noses. Is that cultural appropriation? Gabriel Robles wrote, bro, that's cultural appropriation to a T. That ish just weird, bro. Well, clarify what you are talking about. If you are talking about well, you've made some other messages, so you've written some of the messages, so I will go through them. Now, Stephen Bishop wrote, dyeing your hair is bad for it. I'd rather have gray hair than no hair. Gabriel Rose wrote, I think it's assimilation, not appropriation. Okay. So white people having a black hairstyle, that's cultural appropriation. But black people having white hairstyle, that's not cultural appropriation, that's assimilation. I think there's a double standard here, but we'll never agree on everything on this earth. Gabriel also wrote, when it's on the flip side, couple of Ram wrote, they don't claim it as their own. White claim other cultures, such as dreadlocks. Okay, but in this instance, we have this lady who wore Bantu knots. She never claimed the Bantu knots as her culture. And here there's a double flavor there's a double outcry from Twitter, from the internet, the e-militants, the internet soldiers, the internet warriors, the internet pro-black militants, who for the most part in the real life are not about that. There's also the issue, some have brought it up, that she has the Jamaican flag um, as the bikini top or whatever that's called. So some people take issues at that as well. Did she ever claim any culture as her own? If she did, then show and prove, show us. I might have missed that. V Norm wrote, with all that is going on now, what worry about this? Well, I don't know if, well, the question could be directed to me. No matter what happens, people will still talk about different topics. That's how life is. Sometimes there are some catastrophes, flooding, earthquake, but still people will be talking about different topics. Even when there is war, you can go to YouTube and go to the part, if they have one where you can see, well, actually, yes, I think there's a way to see the live streams, you know, and it's the same for radio broadcasts. You have some very famous internet radio broadcasting sites, and you will have topics about everything. So this issue of it reminds me when people say, you bring up something that doesn't suit them, and they say, well, yeah, but where does that get us? How does that help us? Our people are dying. I can understand that this topic is not of interest to you, but this is trending. And once again, I'm not saying this just because of that situation here with this singer, but this is something that I've been seeing for a while. And I thought to myself I would address it ultimately one day. And today is the day. Now, Piccolo Son wrote, when you say conscious community, are you talking about humans on the path of enlightenment? No, when I say conscious community, I'm talking about those people who are mainly online, but some are not just online. Some are not only online, but mainly they are online and they leave comments and they share things, but it's a virtual community. So that's the community that's mainly into all black everything. So Christianity is ours, Islam is ours, Judaism is ours, Lemuria, Atlantis is ours, Scientology is ours. That's the conscious community. Everything is us. Trisha Chambers wrote, when white people start hanging out with black community, they start wearing the hairstyles and etc. as a fad, and they would rename and make it look like they are original when they are not. But is that the case here? Is that the case here for that singer here? And don't black people do the same thing with the Abrahamic belief system, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam? I'm just asking, I'm just wondering. And Trisha also wrote, the lady in the pig is just playing carnival. This is different. And I agree with you. I agree with you. But I guess it's a habit and it keeps people occupied. People need some things to maybe some people feel like they have to revolt. They might feel too passive. So sometimes with some situations like that, then they will show that they are angry and they have justifiable reasons to be. But when black organizations teach that Africans are living a jungle life, that black means death, that Africans are not civilized, well, they are no longer angry. They don't have anything to revolt about. But to each his own. Stephen Bishop wrote, people have been dying for thousands of years. Why can't you look your best before you go? Knight the Far wrote Al-Qibla is the first mention of this, which terms religion Orthodox Christianity as far as my reading have taken me. Al-Qibla is the first mention where? That comes from Arabic. That's not black people's language, because many people claim Al-Qibla is the original name for Africa. The real East one wrote, we have other races impersonating black women. That's a problem because they don't share our struggle or even help us, but they want to look like us. So, okay, uh, it appears that some black people don't want non-blacks to carry black people hairstyle or clothing ultimately. So, if that's the case, I would like to hear from you, not necessarily by calling in, but even in writing. But what about black people who carry white hairstyle, relax their hair, dye their hair with different colors, particularly blonde? Is it okay then? Don't we have a case of double standard? Capallo wrote nothing wrong with enjoying other cultures, but when they say and show themselves always with it, then it's stripped away. But don't we have many black people? I'm probably sounding like a devil's advocate, but that's okay, really. That's okay. It's fine. I don't think that I'm going to repeat myself all night. I wanted to put the ID out there. Diane wrote, we black women have to stop being hypocrites. We straighten our hair, we put long weaves up to the buttocks. So we appropriate the culture of whites? Question mark. Stephen wrote, Stephen has jokes. He wrote, RuPaul has been RuPaul has been impersonating black women. How you feel about that? Oh, the real cis one wrote, I don't condone black women wearing white hairstyles either. I see. African Science wrote, much ado about nothing. What does ado mean? Is that an acronym for something? But I understand you, brothers and sisters, who feel like it's not a big deal, but in this world that we are living in, it is trending. It is a topic of conversation, and I wanted to touch on that once again, not because it is a particular singer, but it is something that's coming quite often, quite regularly. And I mean, she's not the only one. She's not the only one. Um, it's strange how we have black people who become defenders of the black culture, of the black hairstyles, of the black clothing, but when it comes to traditional black African ways, well, we don't see them being down for it. We don't hear them talking about it. And I want to say to all those people who feel like it is wrong whenever a non-black person, a Caucasian white person, wears a black hairstyle or black clothing, we should not reduce the black culture to hairstyle and clothing. There's more than that. There's also spirituality. There's also religion. There's also languages. You see. Return of the Brother wrote. Okay, hold on. Trisha wrote, even though black people relax or blonde their hair, they didn't steal the blonde hair away from whites, and most blacks don't change their features just because they hang with white people. Now, Return of the Brother wrote, whose culture? She is British and they ruled Jamaica and contributed to the culture. I don't know what he's trying to say. Now, African Science wrote, it's Old English. Shakespeare had a play by that title. Okay, thank you for answering. Now, the real cis1 wrote, it's not a big deal, but it doesn't mean it can be discussed. Yes, I feel the same way. I really understand people who feel like, well, it's not really a topic, but hey, If you have a topic, then feel free. Anything goes. And by the way, I'm sharing the. Hold on. Oh, I cannot have the. But I should have it still. Let me check. Yes. So, um, invite link. I have another topic. Feel free. Click on that link and holler at us. But I find it very sad. People who claim to defend the culture and be upset when the culture is when we have a case of a so-called culture appropriation. But what about traditional Africa as a whole? Are they even interested in any African language? Now, some people will say that Ebonics is a language. I disagree, but that will make some people angry. That will make some people angry. And we will have some case of tribalism, but it's nothing new. That's okay. Tribalism is not necessarily wrong. Keno Davis wrote, what I'm seeing here is more looking like a carnival look. Peep the feathers. Yeah, the bra is Jamaican. I see nothing wrong with this. Why is this even a topic? Sometimes we enjoy others' culture. Yeah. And I agree with what the brother wrote. But even if you disagree with me, then feel free to express yourself. Express yourself. A return of the brother wrote, what exactly is traditional Africa? What traditional Africa? That's whatever was not brought forth or controlled by non-blacks. See? So particularly the belief system or the religion or the religion, for lack of better word. Stephen wrote, well, I'm learning Twi. Memoache, Akwaba. Capelot wrote, Kemet has been stripped away. Schooling showed white faces, big untruth. Well, it's they show white faces because at some point we have some white people ruling in Egypt, but that's really the late period. It's like people showing those who are ruling Australia today. We can show them for recent times, but if people talk about the ancient people of Australia, archaeology of Australia, we will not likely see some white slash Caucasian slash European phenotypes. It's just a matter of chronology. Piccolo Sun correct. And Return of the Brother, Africa is not a monolith, and there was no one religion or culture. That sounds like Pan-African madness. I'm not a Pan-African, but have you ever heard me that there was one religion or one culture in Africa? I haven't said that. Uh, okay, well, how long has it been now? 37 minutes. Nobody wants to call in. I guess we're going to call it a day then. But really, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Now, Piccolo Son wrote, but it's part of the story. Okay. Addressing Capital Law. Is there anything else popping before we close? Is there anything else in the news? The news has been very sad. Very sad. The brother was shot 7 times in the back, was tied to his hospital bed, handcuffed to his hospital bed. Apparently, there's another young person was shot also in the back because it looked like a threat. I haven't seen the video, however, but the things that were going on so long ago, um, there is that caption that many of us have seen, and it is a black man's back that was full of scars from uh, flogging, and someone put that next to a person, a black person, with the back riddled with bullets. Has not really changed that much. A long time ago, people will talk about separation or getting a place of our own. They sounded like extremists. But after all the civil rights issues, voting right issues, the result is that many people are being unjustifiably killed. And besides the killing, we have such huge injustice. One black man was recently released after spending 44 years in prison, if I'm not mistaken. He was accused of rape, and he could have been released earlier. There was some evidence, but he was not taken into consideration. I have came across some article in my feed talking about some families who have bought some land, and I think they are asking for donations in order they want to develop a autonomous community. We will see how that goes, but ultimately you can be well off, rich, wealthy, connected. You might just happen to be unlucky and get dealt with by some racist police officer. And it's a damn shame. Let me remove this now. Return of the brother said that I did say that. So apparently I said that there was one religion or one culture in Africa. Okay, well, I don't remember saying that. It's all good. You might be able to put that up. I really don't remember saying that. A return of the brother wrote, "There is no traditional African anything." Well, suit yourself. You have an Asiatic dude as your profile picture, and I think a while back we talked about that. As far as you're concerned, um, the Hyksos and any Asiatics, they are black people anyway. You must be of the same people who say Africa is not our home, Africa is our throne, and all that. But is that the Libyan that you have or Syrian that you have there? Where is that depiction from? It looks like an Egyptian depiction. And it's not against you. I'm not trying to change your point of view or your opinion. But for someone to have a non-black person as a profile picture and talk about there's no traditional African anything, find it strange. To each his own. You tell us what's theirs, America, the world. Now, Kino wrote, okay, I guess I came late. What was the main address here? Well, the title is cultural appropriation. I can with question mark. But anytime I go live, anything goes. If someone wants to talk about something else, and it's all good. Kino wrote they don't want us around. Capella wrote, cops took Dylan Roof to Burger King before taking him to jail. It was his reward, so the officer said. I was told about a white dude who was trying to fight a white police officer. He's alive, And we have cases of black people who are not trying to fight, and they end up getting killed. And indeed, that Dylan Roof, he was well taken care of, even to the point where they brought him food. But the black man is just going to walk towards his car, or even worse, remember Oscar Grant. I mean, there's so many cases where black people were unarmed and they were killed anyway. Keanu Davis wrote, if we can't live together, then we might as well live by ourselves. We have it in ourselves. It was done before, we can do it again. Yes, we could do it again. Stephen wrote, I wish we could elect our officers like we do our officials. So Return of the Brother says that it's from Canaan. Then he says, see, you can't tell if he's Egyptian or not. Then they are the same people. I said it looks like an Egyptian depiction, not like an Egyptian dude. Don't get me. It's all good. It's all good. Um, Despite all the depiction that I've shown from Canaan, people will still say, well, those are black people. Black people have all kind of phenotype. Black people have thin nose. Black people have straight hair too, and so on and so on. But in the standard of war, oh my. But that's all good. I'm not going to go into that. I will ultimately show more artifacts when I get the chance. Okay. Well, nobody wanted to call in, and it's all good. Um, I've shared my 2 cents, and it's a possibility. Okay, Return of the Brother uh, wrote, you said he looks like an Egyptian. I think I said he looks like an Egyptian depiction. If I forgot the word depiction, but I could go on about the Canaanites, but the video is called White Semites Awakening. As a matter of fact, that would be my goodbye present. Some of you actually are new. I haven't seen you before. So I recommend that you watch this video called White Semites Black Awakening. The Canaanites, they were white. People from nowadays Israel, formerly known as Palestine, so formerly known as Canaan, they were white. Just in case you're wondering. Mesopotamians, white. Sumerians, white. And let me share a shorter one called Black Semites, Shocking Revelation. Look at your so-called black your so-called black-headed Sumerians. Ken Davis wrote, "Wish I just joined from the start, but it's all good. I'll be live streaming some other time. Uh, as a matter of fact, now Return of the Brother wrote, how could they have been white if this guy is black? This guy is black according to you. And you know what? You know, it's okay. It's okay. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. Give me Canaanites before I leave. Now, if there's any video that I want you to watch, it's this: Kemet and Ma'at before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Now let's look at some Canaanites, shall we? Let's look at some Canaanites. Let's do this. Let's do this. You know what? Hold on. That's it. Now we're gonna go back to look at the reference. This is the book, the Oxford Encyclopedia. I'm sorry, the Oxford Encyclopedia of Archaeology in the Near East. Okay, that's the book. And there's several volumes, so we're going to see which volume this one is. Volume 1. Okay. Now, page 410. Here we have some Canaanites, and this is in the Leiden Museum. I went there myself. I took pictures of this relief myself. And the guy in the middle is actually an interpreter. He's doing translation. That's why he's shown facing. Well, you don't see it here, but you see it says Canaanites. He's facing the Egyptians and he's facing these other people. Ironically, okay, it's okay. Okay. But anyway, the next page, page 411. You see those people? See those people here? Those are the Egyptians. Those are the Canaanites. Says who? Says that encyclopedia. And you will see that in a few seconds. Okay? Egyptian, Canaanite. Doesn't look the same at all. So, let's see the description. What does it say? Canaanites. Okay? Copy of a memorial from a tomb at Beni Hassan, Semitic tribes people, dressed in color strip costumes. So, here are your Canaanites. So let me see Return of the Brother. Oh, there it is. He said, you show that all the time. They have afros and you need more sources. Give me the additional sources. So those people have afros. Okay. I don't heard it all. I don't heard it all. But it's all good. It's all good. Now, Return of the Brother wrote the same group was also labeled Hyksos in some circles. All right. So are you saying that the Hyksos were black as well? But for the record, brothers and sisters, I show this, yes, to cut the chase because we're dealing with Canaan and the Abrahamic belief system. Its root, we could say that it has its roots. Well, Canaan is so instrumental, so important when it comes to the Abrahamic belief system. There are many other artifacts. And by the way, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to go to the link that I've shared in the chat. There it is. Black Semi Shocking Revelation. That's just the ad. Waiting for the ad to. There it is. There it is. Those are your Sumerians, the black-headed ones. Those are your Sumerians. What is the date there? About 26 to 2400 BC. There are other depictions, just like in the previous video entitled White Semites Black Awakening. There are depictions from many different places. But Canaan, very big for the Abrahamic believers. Sumer, oh yes, the standard of Ur. That's where Abraham comes from, according to the narrative. So, now, Return of the Brother wrote, the Bible says that Canaan is Ham. along with Egypt. Now, Canaan is Ham. I don't know what you mean. Ham, um, anyway, um, when someone wants to argue ethnicity of ancient people using the Bible, it's like, to me, it's like someone bringing up Harry Potter or Spider-Man or Superman to argue ethnicity of people. We couldn't take a theological book to try to argue the ethnicity of ancient people. And what Return of the Brother does, many of the people do. Many of the people who claim that Muhammad ibn Abdullah was black, that's what they do. They talk about Moses, they talk about Abraham, they talk about Hagar and Ishmael and blah, 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 blah. They go from a theological book. But anyway, some people say that demonstration beats conversation. I have shown artifacts, and I did that over the years. So wrote Anthony Brother, Dr. Ben Asahilad, Booker T. Coleman can school a lot of the disbelievers on Kemet. Of course, this is not at you, Ma'at, forever. So this here, this kind of statement talking about the Bible says this, it doesn't hold weight whatsoever. It does not. Historically, it doesn't hold any weight. But as a people, we are still at that level, still in 2020. Then Return of the Brother wrote, the Bible was written in ancient times and they knew the peoples. Who knew the people? Who wrote the Bible? What are the records? Can you tell us the records? What language it is? What language is it? Where is it located? And the question is, do you trust them then or whites today? I don't trust the Bible. It was written over so many years by so many different people. We don't have the originals, at least for the New Testament and the Old Testament. I mean, I'm just asking for the records. Who wrote them? Where were they written? What was the language? But it's all good. It's all good. I know my people. Most of my people are into the Abrahamic belief system. So because it's written in the book, then that's what it is. But there's another field in life besides theology or religion, and it is called archaeology. I like that one. I really like that one. Because instead of having descriptions of people, I mean, you talk about the Bible, there's the Talmud, and brothers and sisters, do you know what the Talmud says about black people? But some people will discard the Talmud. They will accept the Torah, but discard the Talmud. It's like a Muslim accepting the Quran, but discarding the Hadith. Um, where is it? Oh, I thought I had it there. This is right. A rabbi called Maimonides wrote regarding black people, regarding the black nation. Their nature is similar to mute animals, and in my opinion, they do not reach the level of human beings. I will stop there, man. I don't need to take it further. But you know what? I will leave it there, man. So, 58 minutes. Now, that's an interesting question. Naisi Tafar wrote, have you read the war documents of Egypt about when they fought the sons of Moses of the land of Canaan? I've never heard of that. The sons of Moses, even Moses is not even attested in history. So to have the sons of Moses, the sons of Moses to go to war against uh, Egypt, that sounds like a great fairy tale. History is not difficult, brothers and sisters. Let's find out what is attested in history. So, thank you for being there. Stay safe, stay healthy, and if I'm allowed to buy the Necheru, then I would definitely hire back at you hotel.